Hey everybody, welcome to another video review. This is a very special one. It's one of the 11 Master Replicas Signature Edition lightsabers, and definitely one of the high tier ones as well. You can see in front of you the Anakin Skywalker Signature Edition from Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. I'm going to start rotating it as usual while I talk. Bought this from a gentleman in the UK who's a pretty big time collector. I think he at one point owned almost every single Master Replicas piece out there. So very, very happy to get this. I've had a couple of opportunities. These guys are out there at only 750 made, though they're not too common. Still pretty rare. Earlier this year, way earlier, there was an opportunity to get this for like very, very cheap. I think below 2,000 even. But unfortunately, at that time, all of my attention was being placed on the Mace Windu Signature Edition, so I didn't have the funds to get this. But it wound up working out. This is an absolutely stunning hilt and such a beautiful and unique piece as well. It's the only lightsaber that Hayden Christensen officially signed as part of a Signature Edition run. He didn't sign for the Revenge of the Sith pieces, which is a bit of a shame. I did actually have custom signature plaques made for both the Darth Vader and the Anakin Skywalker lightsabers from Revenge of the Sith, and had those signed and under authentication with a sticker. It was signed in person through GalaxyCon, and so I'll do a little update, I guess, of that. But that signature plaque with Hayden's signature really adds so much to the piece. But this is the only one that he did officially. This is the first lightsaber case that I got that I didn't have to polish. Maybe I'll do a little bit later because it keeps the dust off, but this was kept in such immaculate condition. The mirror base, the acrylic case, nice, clean, just amazing for a replica this old. I took it out of the box, put it together, and realized, no fingerprints, no smudges, no scratches to polish out, nothing. It just looks beautiful, So again, very happy with that. And this is very, very unique and different. I kind of like the fact that the two lightsabers from Anakin in the prequels have a lot of different lineage, so the lightsaber from Revenge of the Sith obviously is the one that, Obi-Wan took from him after the duel on Mustafar, and that was what was supposed to have been passed on to Luke. And so because of that, there's a lot of similarities and homage to the original Graflex hilt from A New Hope that Luke has, for instance. Just, of course, more refined, more luxurious, just better quality, as would be befitting, right, from a Jedi Knight at the height of the Jedi's powers and authority in the Old Republic. Whereas this, from Attack of the Clones, was when, he's still a Padawan. And it's kind of interesting because this, of course, draws inspiration from Darth Vader's lightsaber, which was made from an MPP flash gun. You can see the shroud, the grips, the T-tracks. Of course, this is way more beautiful, way nicer. But I find it kind of interesting, that this would be sort of the light reflection of Vader's lightsaber. And based on the timeline, obviously, since we're moving forward, Vader, essentially, he built his own hilt after losing his lightsaber in the end of Revenge of the Sith. It's kind of interesting that he decided to use the lightsaber that he had as a Padawan and kind of use that as inspiration for creating, his lightsaber as a dark side user. I wonder what the made-up lore behind that would be. Like, why did he decide to use that design, versus any other design or something completely new, for instance. And one of these days, I will definitely take this and compare it to, Vader's. You can see the similarities. I think that would be really, really cool. Okay, so let's get this acrylic out of the way and put on our backboard. We'll continue twirling it around. Here we go. So you have a better idea of how beautiful this saber looks. It's extremely heavy, as they all are. This is also a little bit more refined and a touch more slender than the Vader version, which is a bit bulkier, It's all beautifully chromed, very, very polished, shining. Hayden Christensen has been benefiting from a little bit of a renaissance for the past couple years, which is well deserved. He's obviously matured quite a bit, and he's always loved Star Wars, given it his all. He didn't really receive a lot of support and love for his performances in the original prequel trilogy, and I think fairly. He wasn't a very good actor, or if he was a good actor, then George Lucas, of course, did not bring that out very well. I think most of the fault can be laid on Lucas's really, really bad writing and direction. People forget that Natalie Portman, who's an Oscar-winning actress, didn't have very much to do as well. But now, he's definitely very popular. There's a lot of support for him. A lot of people grew up really, idolizing his character in the original prequel. So he must have done something right. And so his hilts have steadily gone up in value. He had some great scenes in the Obi-Wan Disney Plus limited, streaming series. And, he also had some amazing appearances in the newest one, which is Ahsoka. I think that's really going to raise his profile. He was actually, interestingly, carrying this hilt in Ahsoka in one of the episodes, when he showed up either as an internal vision of the Force or as a Force ghost. So owning any of Anakin Skywalker's lightsabers from either Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith is a really, cool thing, really big achievement. They're both gorgeous, gorgeous lightsabers. They're basically super nice, luxurious versions of the Graflex from Luke's hilt in New Hope, and of course Vader's dark black version of this. All right, so I think we've done enough of the medium view. I'm gonna put this aside for now. Here is the signature plaque. This is par for the course for the newer versions. You can see here Star Wars Attack of the Clones Episode 2, Anakin Skywalker lightsaber. You have the logo Lucasfilm and Master Replicas. The signature edition here is 263 out of 750. And then you can see Hayden Christensen's very distinctive signature on there. Very, very nice. So this is the plaque. Gonna set it aside. Here's the certificate of authenticity for Hayden's signature artificial prop replicas. This was released in 2004, so you still have the beige envelope. This is the nice trifold. Look at how young Hayden was back then. Hair's a little bit messy. He's got that nice sport coat, very casual. You can see him signing it. Look how long his fingers are, and the permanent marker or Sharpie that he's signing it with. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Here we go again. Really, really love this gold seal with those signatures. As you can see, there are some older hilts where the certificate authenticity is actually very generic, you know? So they made generic ones, right, where they can just kind of slap them on that, like any Master Replicas collectible. But for the signature editions, they're special enough that they actually specifically mention this. See, the guy, it specifically mentions Anakin Skywalker, signed by Hayden Christensen. You can actually see they mentioned Star Wars Attack of the Clones. They mentioned Hayden Christensen. So this is a certificate authenticity absolutely uniquely created for this lightsaber, which I think is really, really cool. They even tell you the limitation, 750 copies. And then of course, the 2 signatures. So I really like these, you know, this type of certificate. And of course, great photo. And then this is the actual description. I'm gonna slowly go up so you can read it. You can see that there's a comparison of Anakin's lightsaber from Attack of the Clones and Darth Vader's lightsabers from the original Star Wars trilogy. So you can see that I did notice that it was more slender, and they do confirm that noticeably smaller than many of the other lightsaber props that they've replicated. Gives it a more elegant feeling like a samurai's katana, which I absolutely agree. So this is our certificate of authenticity. Very, very nice. I'll put it back. This envelope. And now the actual hilt itself. It's kind of interesting that you can see that the acrylic legs are so far apart. Like you can only put the hilt here and then you put it over there. So, you know, like usually they're a little bit closer together, so it's kind of interesting that they're so far apart. Oh man, it is so crazy heavy. When it, like, words cannot describe how heavy this is. It's insane. So yeah, you can kind of feel the weight. This feels like it's like almost 10 pounds or something. I mean, it can't be that heavy, but it feels really heavy. So you can see it's very polished, very beautiful. Where should we begin? Let's begin with the limitation right here. 2004 Master Replicas LLC, Signature Edition. And then of course, Lucasfilm, mirror polish. And then you can see the T-tracks right over here. The ribbing down below. Very, very nice. Again, this is as reflective as a mirror. All of the prequel lightsabers have this sort of cover tech that's supposed to be placed on a belt clip. So that's, rather than the D-rings of the original trilogy, they have these now newer age cover techs, I think is what you call them. And it just snaps into the belt clip. So again, you can see the beautiful mirror polish. And then here, of course, a homage to the Graflex, except that this is no longer a Texas Instrument. They didn't cobble together from other parts. This is designed from the ground up. So here's the control box. There's the clamp. Really, really pretty. So actually this is not the Graflex, this is the MPP, but still the exact bubble strip is from that Texas Instruments calculator. But you know, they're not going to use the actual bubble strip. It's now kind of like a more engineered version. You can kind of clearly see where it's coming from. And then the red and green crystal. And of course, that beautiful shroud. And you can see this ring right here. This actually can't move. Really, really nice gold plate. The details here, the fine details here and here. Again, paying homage to the Vader shroud. Asymmetrical. Let's take a look at the inside of that shroud. Here you go. Everything is just mirror finish. Here are the knobs. And then you hold it. You can feel the weight. Remarkable piece. Beginning to end. The only downside is how do you properly display it? I love to see the bottom of this, but you can't really display it like that. Obviously, it's meant to be displayed with a shroud pointing this way, the details up. You can also tell by the acrylic legs that there's grooves here and here that's meant for the T-track. So you can't switch it like this exactly. And you know that because there's more space, this is where the signature plaque goes. And so they're so far apart that the only way to really do it and have it make any sort of sense is to layer it like that. Make sure it's nice and level. And then the plaque goes here, just like so. There you have it. This is a little bit of a shorter review than some of my other hilts, mainly just because procuring it or getting it didn't have much of a story. I built a very good relationship with the seller already, and so we simply agreed on a fair price, and I paid him and he shipped it. So there wasn't much drama there. And I just have to say, this is one of the most perfect hilts that I own. Right out of the box, nothing needed to be done. Base was in great condition, acrylic case, great condition. The Saber, of course, is a dream. Beautiful signature plaque. So just over the moon to finally have this in my collection as well. I'm missing now only the Darth Maul signature edition, which I'm going to eventually get, of course. That one's a little bit more interesting because you have to have a custom base and a credit case design for it. And first time actually feeling and seeing the beauty of this lightsaber. Hopefully when I was holding it, you can tell how slender and refined it looks. I absolutely agree that the Vader version is a bit blockier, a bit more crude. And this is just this really, I mean, we all know that the prequels were made after the original trilogy, so obviously the design team, you know, took homage from the Vader version and it created this one for Anakin. But of course, based on the lore, the Anakin would have come first. But you can definitely see, you know, kind of, again, that elegant refinement of the Vader design. They took a lightsaber that had been sort of cobbled together from a flash gun, and then they gave it sort of their own, at that time, modern aesthetic, and then also modified it so that it could be used, you know, by a Jedi, right? Because he was still a Padawan at that time, and they just did a fantastic job. I mean, I can't give enough credit to the design team responsible for the lightsabers of the original, of the prequel trilogy. I mean, these are the guys who created the Dooku, Mace Windu, of course the Obi-Wans. I mean, they just hit so many home runs. They hit so many home runs that the occasional base hits that they, you know, created, like say Qui-Gon's or like Darth Maul even, you know. They weren't like failures, you know, they weren't swings and misses. They were just like base hits. But the base hits come off as like, you know, strikeouts, because you compare that to masterpieces like this saber, Darth Sidious, all that gold, you know, and the chrome plating, the Obi-Wan, such a beautiful, beautiful hilt. You can kind of see its evolution, you know, when it started off like the one you see in Phantom Menace, and then evolving very slightly in Attack of the Clones, basically identical, and then, you know, as a Jedi Master creating one, and then finally, you know, the one that you see in New Hope. So there's just like so many masterpieces that they created for the prequel trilogy in terms of the design of these hilts, and this is definitely one of them. Let me put on the acrylic. Here we go. Again, this is the newer version where you can see that the case goes around the lip. There's a couple of Anakin signature editions on YouTube, but I think this is still one of the ones that showcases it the best. Definitely one of the heaviest hilts that I've ever handled. So I have 3 Christensen signatures, one for this, that's official, and then I got the unofficial ones for Revenge of the Sith Vader and the Anakin Revenge of the Sith. Now I did a review of the Anakin Revenge of the Sith already, so I might just add a couple minute, you know, update to show off the plaque, or maybe I just do a separate video going over some of the custom signature plaques I've gotten now over the past few months. A whole bunch of them are hopefully going to be coming in the next few months. But I think I'm gonna redo my Master Replicas Revenge of the Sith Darth Vader lightsaber. I think it's a good enough time to do that because we now have Hayden's signature plaque as well, which I want to show off. And I haven't really done justice to that review. I did it mainly in response to the Galaxy's Edge lightsaber releases and to compare and contrast. And so it wasn't like a dedicated review. And I feel like that hilt deserves it as well because it's another just gorgeous reimagining of the Vader, MPP flash gun design from the first original trilogy. So I hope you enjoyed this video review of the Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones Anakin Skywalker Signature Edition lightsaber from Master Replicas. Again, all of this in a nice package. I hope you get to appreciate some of the detail of this hilt. And until next time, do take care.